One, I hope you're enjoying your Tuesday. Say, the FBI just released video footage of the Nancy Guthrie kidnapping or murder or both, right? It's kind of fascinating. It's got to be the single biggest thing that's happened because, quite frankly, this case was basically a cold case as of yesterday. So, anyway, FBI technicians were able to finally find, I'm just saying based on what Kash Patel said, that there was some residual video of this in some server somewhere, and they were able to finally get a hold of some footage, and that's where now it's released. There's two videos. We'll watch the first one. Enjoy. There's no sound. I don't know if you've noticed right away, this guy is pretty big. It appears to me like he's got nice clothes on. For some reason, he picks up a plant, which he picks it up. I'll show you why. Hang on here. Because in video 2, you will see he is trying to put it over the camera. So he already knows the camera's there, right? So he's trying to put this over it. Now they've actually taken these videos and have actually released photos. It's a lot easier to see more detail in the photos. I don't know where they're at. I haven't really looked around. I'm at work right now. But it's pretty fascinating. And I'll replay this again for you can see. Make it a little bit bigger for you. Oh crap, I'm screwing everything up. Yeah, guys, kind of strange. So, but that's it, man. It's like I said, the guy is pretty large, it looks like, from my perspective. I think if I was just to gauge by it, because I've seen some of the photos, to me, it looks like the guy might have a mustache. Because in one of the close-up photos, it looks like there's a shadow behind the mouth opening. I'm assuming he's got a mustache. I also think because of some of the close-up of where you can actually see the skin of the guy's eyes, around his eyes, I think, I could be completely wrong, right? These are black and white pictures. But I think the person's white, a white male. And, hang on here. Oops. Wrong one. This is the first one. Yeah, and you're just going to notice he just walks up. He just walks up, which is interesting because it was around 1:30 in the morning or something. The software detected a person walk up. And they've known this since like day one, basically. But the problem is according to the FBI, they could never get the picture, the videos, because Guthrie did not pay the subscription. So the security people told him like it was on a loop and it records over itself. And so it was thought this footage was lost. And so they found some residual video somewhere. And yeah, it's pretty interesting. Like I said, my first initial take is he's a big dude. His shoes seem to be big. He looks fairly big himself. Depending on what your terminology of big is, he looks like a fairly large guy. You can see he's got a gun on him too, right? He's got a gun on him. I don't know if you noticed that, but there's definitely a gun on him. I can't tell you if it's a plastic gun, a wood gun, or a real gun. I'm assuming it's a real gun, right? But one of the things that just strikes me about this as I watch it, he has very nice clothes on. Like, if I was in Boy Scouts back in the day when I was a Boy Scout, this is what I'd probably be hiking around in, say in fall weather. I'd be hiking around something like, I wouldn't have a ski mask on, or but you know what I'm saying? Like, this to me would look like something I would probably hike around in. And you never know about the quality of bag, but his bag doesn't look like it's terrible, right? It could be a cheapo, or it could be a legitimately nice bag, but even the bag doesn't look bad, right? I mean, you just look at the here, he knows there's a camera, right? I also think he has a flashlight on, because if you notice, when he walks through the door frame, a light turns on, then goes off real quick. So I think it's somewhere almost like a camping lamp or something, like if he might have a flashlight, but he's definitely got a gun on him. And like I said, the bag looks pretty nice. His boots look to be fairly large. It looks like he's got big feet. And is there anything else I noticed about that video? Trying to think, is there anything else on that video? Well, I would just say this, because I can't think of anything right off the top of my head, but remember, not too long after this camera, according to the FBI themselves, was actually taken out of the property. Like, I don't know if he bashed. I don't think, first thing, I don't know. They've backtracked on some of that initial stuff, right? At first, there was stories of the cameras were smashed, and then it went from, well, I never said it was smashed, so take it for what it is. I don't know. But for sure, this doorbell camera was taken out. So I don't know if that means the guy found a screwdriver and then just tore it out and took off with it, or what exactly that means. Your guess is good as mine. But this is it, man. This is, like I said, this is the biggest break in this story since it happened. And because this case had basically gone cold until last night, whenever they were able to break through and get these videos. So it's weird. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Keep in mind, as you think about investigation as a whole, criminal investigation, think of it as there's this Bible that exists, the Bible of criminal investigation, if you will, right? So, first thing, as famous investigator Joe Kendall has said many times over the years on the show, it only takes about 24 hours for a crime to go cold. Leads dry up. There's no real meaningful leads coming in. Nothing can be figured out. It just goes cold. Okay? So keep that in mind. And then there's the real FBI data that's like 80 or 90% of all crimes committed is by someone the person know, right? It can be family, it can be cousins, it could be family friends that are close, associates, but somewhere through the grapevine, the family usually knows the person that commits the crime. So keep that in mind. And then the other Bible of criminal investigation, right, that you always have to kind of work yourself through and realize too is, you're going to see, matter of fact, you've already seen a lot of this. People are like, oh, it's a professional job. It was a professional job because we've never found Nancy Guthrie. It's a professional job. So that must mean it's a professional job. Oh, because someone wanted $6 million in cryptocurrency, it was a professional job, right? So, but what I'm saying is, in reality, once again, in investigative criminal investigation Bible 101 is, just remember, the majority, high 90 percentile of all crimes are in haste. They are committed in haste. They're not planned, or they have very little planned. And just because they are very little planned doesn't mean they actually do anything by design. They go in thinking, well, I want to do X, Y, and Z, but because everything is done in haste, most things that they think they want to do never get accomplished. And once again, this is where that psychology of fear comes in. It's because even when it is planned out, the fear in their back of their mind, like a seed planted, I will be caught. I'm going to get caught. The longer I'm here, I'm going to get caught. So more mistakes are made. But most things are not planned. They're in haste. For example, I look at this video, and a lot of the conspiracy people out there, they're going to look at this and say, well, man, this was a real inside job. This was a professional hitman. Crazy stuff. And you'll see a lot of people, unfortunately in America, it's millions of people who say this. I look at this, and it always reminds me of criminal investigation Bible 101 fundamentals. This looks like this is in haste. And yes, you say, well, what makes you think it's haste? Well, anybody in this day and age routinely can just show up to a crime with a mask and glove on, because by this point in time in history, they know they don't want to leave footprints. They don't want their cameras to see their face. There's not much planning on that. It's just an afterthought. It's so routine in our thinking, we just do it. Okay? Secondly, this guy's walking up to the door, and he notices that there's a camera on it. He walks back out to right where the corner is over here on the right hand side. He grabs a plant and then sticks it over, trying to hide himself from the camera by putting the plant over the top of it. So once again, this goes to show and proves the FBI data on, I don't even know, 100-year history of data recording. I don't think it's that much yet, but you get my point on what percentage of crimes and how criminal minds think. Most of this stuff is done in haste. It's just not planned. It's not like what people think in their mind. It's opposite. And you gotta push against that grain. Like, okay, so here's another example of this. You see a lot of people say this on Fox News, CNN, all these people, including YouTube. You'll see this title all the time pop up. It's an inside job. It's an inside job. Well, what exactly does that even mean in the grand scheme of things? Because the FBI already tells you that 80 to 90 something percentile of all crimes committed are by people they know. That by definition is an inside job, sort of. But what I'm saying is, if you're the person who's always just saying it's an inside job, or some conspiratorial type tone to everything you say, it really doesn't have very much meaning, because it's almost like, duh, we already know that. That's there's 80 years of history of this by this point in time. This is why cases are routine and they're solved. But here's another thing I want to point back before I end this video to Bible or Criminal Investigation Bible 101. And this is something most people are actually probably not aware of, and I'm probably going to butcher the statistic a little bit. But even in the year 2026, and I don't know why this is, well, let me just tell you, then I'll build on that a little bit. But roughly 65 to 70% of cases are never solved. Never solved. In our mind, we think, like, I don't know what we think. We think it's like a 90% solved or 100% solved. I don't know if that's because we just get used to watching way too many videos or what the deal is. But in this country, murder cases are rarely solved, even in the time of DNA. Yeah, DNA's helped solve a lot of cases, and it makes the job a lot easier. And I'm sure over time the statistics on this has gotten a little bit better, but still, a high percentage of cases are never solved, ever solved. And I think, like in 2026, I think the other psychological thought on this is, well, we got cameras everywhere. Everything can just be solved. But that's just not how it works. It's just not how it works. So I always like to say this. Go back, revert back to criminal investigation Bible 101 and keep these very simple things in the back of your mind in the days ahead as you look and see the Nancy Guthrie case play out. Do they solve it? Do they not solve it? You know, because if you understand some of these points that I make in this video on the back end, it'll really help you see these things a little bit differently. Okay. Anyway, guys, that's the big news, man. Like I said, this is the biggest news we've had in this case. Talk to you later. Bye.